You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Are you interested in the parts of history that remain a mystery? Do you want to learn more about the historical myths and misconceptions used to prop up false belief today? I'm Nathaniel Lloyd. In my podcast, Historical Blindness, I delve into all of these topics, sharing puzzling tales from the past and examining hoaxes, conspiracy theories, and misremembered events that provide insight into modern politics and religion. Find out what's real and what's not when it comes to famous conspiracy theories, like those surrounding notorious assassinations and secret societies. Discover the weak and deceptive underpinnings of modern political ideologies and religious beliefs. Join me as I attempt to shed some light on our historical blind spots. New episodes every 2 weeks. Find Historical Blindness on most podcast players and platforms.
Hey, and welcome to Fan Theory Queries, where we analyze fan theories from all over the internet, but mostly Reddit. I'm Lara.
I'm Michael.
And I'm defeated. Actually, my name is Spencer, but I feel defeated because of all the technology.
Hey, but we're still recording, so
Yeah, I have no camera.
That's a win.
Well, let's win. Let's go. Let's stay positive with this theory.
Yeah, so this theory is actually about our good old friend from the Marvel Universe, Kingpin.
He's not my friend.
He's not?
No.
I would not want to be friends with that guy.
Maybe you should be friends with him.
I don't know about that.
This comes from user ProwlerH18. They say that in the Hawkeye TV show from Disney Plus, Kingpin got a super soldier serum, which is, I'm assuming, explaining why he's 3 times bigger.
Oh, this is going to be a fun opportunity for me. In the mood that I'm in, we're about to talk about Marvel.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, he's in the perfect mood for this.
I'll be nice, I promise. I break promises all the time.
No, he'll be subjective.
Yes, that's right. All right, go ahead.
All right, so the theory says, it was a great feature watching Wilson Fisk's comeback in Hawkeye. However, this new incarnation of the character seems different from the one shown in Daredevil. This is bigger, scarier, and stronger than the last time we saw him. Like, overly stronger, almost superhuman. He even survived gunshots, car crashings, and bombs exploding in front of him. On the other hand, in The Falcon and Winter Soldier, we are told the super soldier serum was successfully replicated by Dr. Nagel. Is it Nagel or Nagel?
Don't ask us. We didn't watch that show.
Or Nagel.
Yeah, I watched the show once, but
Nagel?
I honestly...
You have a better idea than we do.
Yeah.
I like Nagel.
That's fine. We'll go with Nagel.
Just
to appease Spencer.
I bet that is so wrong.
Despite the fact that he only produced 20 vials, it's quite possible that there are more vials around the world, either created by Nagel himself or by the CIA, who recruited Nagel in the first place. I think Kingpin could have been one of the clients who bought or stole a serum to get stronger in a world of superhumans. It also contributes to his image as a scary mob boss. I know his almost super strength comes from the comics, but as this is not really explained, it could be a good explanation to his abilities in MCU. And it could increase the menace he will represent in Echo and later Daredevil Born Again.
He's nothing but a menace. Is a quote from one of my little-known films that I made with my church back in the day.
Oh.
ADD boy.
You're
He's
quoting
nothing
yourself.
but a menace. No, that was Catfish Man that said that.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. We all wanted to know about.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the theory.
So it's a good theory because there is no explanation. I didn't watch this show with the exception of the last episode, which is whenever he's heavily featured, and all of this stuff happens.
Yeah.
And as I was watching those action sequences with that, what's the lady?
Kate
Bishop?
Yeah. With her, I'm like, what? How is he alive still? Of all these things like that are happening, I mean, he got hit by a car, right?
Yeah.
It's what is happening, and this sounds like it could explain that.
Yeah. I feel like they had to find a way to bring him into the MCU from the Netflix show and have him be able to survive in such a superpower heavy like universe. Because in the Daredevil Netflix show, that was more like street level stuff,
Right.
and more realistic, more human type superhero stuff. So yeah, I think that this would be a good way for Kevin Feige and everyone, all the writers and stuff, to explain how he could actually survive going toe to toe with a lot of the people he's going to go toe to toe with in the MCU.
So you're saying based on the theory itself, you're kind of leaning toward that he got a super soldier serum.
Yeah, because in the comics, like Kingpin, like they said, does have super strength, and it's really hard to kill him. That's part of the reason why he's so terrifying.
Is there
he's
an
just this big,
explanation for
menacing
that?
dude.
Is it just that's how he is?
I
don't
think that's
remember.
just how he's built. Because think about,
Yeah.
like, we've seen the Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
He's like a box.
He's enormous, but that's what he is in the comic books.
You know what it makes me think of? Having just done an episode of Pinky and the Brain, you know when Brain gets in those mechanical suits, and they're giant suits, and he's got his tiny little brain head sticking out? That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, because his tiny little head on that giant body that was voiced by Lee Driver. Love it. But also, my first awareness of the character of Kingpin was Michael Clark Duncan
Yeah,
in the
same.
movie with Ben Affleck.
Ooh,
and
he was Kingpin?
Yes.
Wow.
Which was awesome.
That's a great
casting.
choice. Yeah,
He
It
was
was
really
really
is.
good
Perfect.
casting. He was so good, and he was enormous.
Yeah, he was one of the best parts of that movie, in my opinion.
And that's the thing of Ben Affleck's physicality back then was not like it is now post
right.
Snyderverse Batman, Batfleck. He was much more life, he
Yeah.
was smaller, which is what Daredevil is supposed to be.
Yeah,
And yes, he is strong enough to pack a lethal punch, but he's going up against a tank
a literal
of
Goliath.
a man.
Yeah.
And that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and Kingpin is also one of Spider-Man's villains too. So in order for him to go toe-to-toe with Spider-Man believably, he would need to be that big and that durable and be able to be strong enough to actually hurt Spider-Man, you know?
I don't
Like,
know.
I could
Like,
maybe see him being a juicer, like a bodybuilder,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
who's Lex Luthor's main villain? I mean, I ruined it. Who's Superman's main villain?
like
Lex Luthor. He
Yeah.
doesn't have super abilities. I mean,
No.
he gets a suit sometimes, but for the most part, he can still be a formidable villain
Mhm.
without having superpowers.
Yeah,
But
But he also has kryptonite.
he does.
yes.
But yeah, this guy.
All he has to do with Daredevil is just bang like a metal barrel next to him.
Yep,
And
make some
Daredevil
noise.
is messed up big time.
Yep.
So Lara, correct me if I'm wrong. You didn't watch the Netflix series, right?
Of Daredevil?
Mhm.
No, I did not.
I watched the first season and I liked it. I thought it was good. I think I'm in the minority, or I may be the only one. I do not like this gentleman's portrayal of this character.
Vincent D'Onofrio?
Yeah,
Really?
I don't think he likes Vincent D'Onofrio, period.
No, he's just a one note. I'm angry, and this is how I talk.
So when you look at him, all you see is Edgar from Men in Black.
No, that's amazing. Like I didn't even know that was the same person, and
Oh.
that's fantastic. So I don't doubt his abilities as an actor, but just something about his portrayal as Kingpin, as far as I've seen. Again, I've only seen one season, and also that episode of Hawkeye. He's just kind of like, I'm a mean man, and I'm talking like this because I'm angry because I lost my wife or whatever. And like I said, I know I'm probably in the minority. Doesn't
Yeah,
do
you are.
anything. It annoys me, and I'm not looking forward to seeing him again.
I honestly, though, I have heard that about Vincent D'Onofrio. He is actually a bit of a polarizing actor for some people, spread across his several roles. I know that's why his strain of Law and Order, Criminal Intent didn't do as well, is
Mhm.
because he was just always the same guy that, like, he was very one note, like you said.
Mhm.
And I just as an actor, I mean, I've read things on his acting style and choices and stuff, and he's like the stereotypical, he's a method actor.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah, he's all about Stanislavski.
Oh,
And
boo.
yeah, so it does make me kind of roll my eyes a little bit about him. But so I knew going into Hawkeye, Spencer was already going, oh man. And yeah, he did kind of
Just flat, right?
you kind of
Oh, sorry.
tainted my experience
But I wasn't
of
wrong.
seeing him. But I just, honestly, in Hawkeye, I feel like I didn't see enough to make that kind of judgment. I didn't watch the Daredevil series.
I absolutely loved the Netflix Daredevil series, all of the seasons, and I was just gonna say,
how many were there?
3, yeah,
Really?
yeah,
wow.
And so it remains to be seen. We have no idea. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
What, if any, of the events that happen in those series, along with the other Netflix series, are canon to this?
Oh, true.
Oh, no. Kevin Feige actually said the other day in an interview that the new Daredevil series is going to basically be like a soft reboot. Like nothing that happened in the Netflix stuff and any of the shows is going to translate over to this. They're just going to bring the characters over.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
That's interesting.
So with that being said, it's almost like we can't really base our analysis of this theory on that show. Because if they're just kind of cutting ties and just taking the characters, maybe he's in the MCU, maybe he's always been this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like he was in the comics.
Right.
Which is why I would kind of be curious to hear what some of these comments have to say.
I was going to get into that. So the first one's from Majeric. They say, I don't think it was successfully replicated. I think there are lesser serums that have been moderately successful. Captain America is still the gold standard. In the Ultimate Marvel universe, the pursuit of the serum is pretty much the reason why every other superhero with powers exists.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we have the Hulk, because they were trying.
Yeah, and...
Is that why?
Yeah, they were trying to make a super soldier serum.
Yeah.
And that's how we got the Hulk.
And in response to that, Ink Thinker says, it's because nobody remembers or knows about the Vita Ray chamber. Rogers not only got multiple injections simultaneously pumped into major muscle groups, but he was bathed in intense radiation. Everyone subsequently seems to have gotten various forms and doses of serum, but nobody's gotten the Vita Ray treatment as well, which is a valid point.
Vita Ray, that sounds like one of those 1950s things you would have seen almost like Vita Vita Vegemin.
That's that was exactly.
It instantly makes me think of the Fallout games. It just seems like something from that universe.
Oh, true.
So I need a clarification.
Yeah.
I would like to know who the super soldiers are, and don't tell me, Bucky is super soldier, right?
I think
the
he
Russian
is.
version, yeah.
Yeah, it was because the little guy doctor that ends up putting his consciousness into the computer.
Arno, I believe, is his name.
He was at one time like a colleague of Erskine.
I think so.
And Erskine's the one who developed the super soldier serum, and I'm pretty sure that he was able to kind of.
Well, Bucky's super strong, so
he was able to get some of Erskine's very first prototypical notes maybe, and then he was also able to kind of just based off of his knowledge of Erskine recreate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a Russian knockoff.
Okay. And then because one of the complaints that I saw of the Thunderbolts team is that it's all pretty much
there's like 3 super soldiers. Yeah.
Which ones? So you got
think the
Bucky.
next comment is about to talk about that actually. From Wade 856.
Okay.
Let me read through this and then I will add to it to answer your question. So they say, true, but Luke Cage was experimented on for a version of the super soldier serum, and he got all the regular super soldier benefits, speed, endurance, agility, but he also gained far greater strength, durability, and invulnerability. Bulletproof, explosion-proof, steel-hard skin. I'd say that version of the serum is far greater than what Steve Rogers, Bucky, John Walker, the Flag Smashers, and John Henry Irons got. And in my opinion, Kingpin definitely got some serum from the Power Broker.
What? John Henry Irons? That's a DC character. Is there a Marvel character too?
I think this person got mixed up.
Because John Henry Irons plays Steel. Is the character Steel?
I know.
Wait a minute.
I'll look it up. Or you can look it up while I'm reading, but I don't think that there's a John Henry Irons in Marvel. Anyway, they say, and in my opinion, Kingpin definitely got some serum from the Power Broker. This Kingpin already has a rep, and now we know there's a Daredevil, and a Punisher is also coming in the MCU. So he would most likely want to have an edge on the wave of enhanced and lethal individuals and vigilantes.
I'll look up who are super soldiers. This list says there are 22 super soldiers.
Okay, so here's the Wikipedia biography of Kingpin.
Yes.
While the Kingpin has no superhuman powers, he is incredibly strong and significantly more durable than the average human, possessing remarkable strength concealed by his extremely corpulent appearance.
It's just that he's so big.
Most of his body mass is actually muscle that has been built to extraordinary size, much like a super heavyweight sumo wrestler or some Olympic weightlifters and powerlifters, but at greater strength levels.
Yes, he just juices. That's it, guys.
Yep, and that's a point that I was going to get to. That he never technically has superpowers.
Okay.
You know, it's just that he's just a big, strong dude.
Yeah.
You know, and I was saying, I think that they are kind of slightly crossing that line a little bit in bringing him into the MCU, in order to make it more believable that he can stand up to the superpowered people.
I don't know. I feel like Marvel has a track record of, if they want something to be a certain way, they do it, not always feeling the need to explain why it is the way it is. Hence, many of my gripes and complaints about lots of plot points and stuff. I just trying to, like, I don't think they need that explanation. I totally get your point, and it makes sense. It's logical. It's a logical point, but I'm just not totally sure that they would feel like they need an actual explanation for why he's able to do what he does. I mean, if we see Into the Spider-Verse, like we've talked about, Spider-Man, bunch of Spider-Man, right? Go all after him, and he's not a super soldier, so
he's just enormous.
We don't have an explanation for why he is the way that he is. Why you're the way that you are.
Yeah.
Okay, but we do have some more comments, right? Lara, did you find something?
Oh, I just found a list of all 22 super soldiers.
In the MCU?
Yeah, that might be fun to read
Let's go through those really quickly, and then
okay.
I'll have one more comment I want to read out of this list.
Okay, I'll just run through it really fast. First off, of course, we have Captain America. Next is Red Skull.
Yeah.
After that, Bucky Barnes. There were other Winter Soldiers in the Hydra program with our Winter Soldier, with Bucky.
Okay.
The Hulk. Emil Blonsky.
Yep. Abomination. Yeah.
Isaiah Bradley from the 1950s.
Oh, yeah.
He's the first black Captain America. Apparently, he's in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
He is. And honestly, his little
his
story was
sounds so
the
compelling.
best part of the entire show.
It sounds very compelling. I
Yeah.
just read over it really fast.
Elaborate, explore that more.
It was really interesting.
Yeah.
John Walker is one. Carly Morgenthau.
Don't know that.
She was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and also the Flag Smashers.
Oh, okay. I know who it is
Red
now.
Guardian.
I didn't know he was.
Yeah.
A thing.
Well,
He's
that's
one
why
of the three.
he is the counterpart to Captain America.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't. I keep forgetting you didn't watch Black Widow.
Is Steve in that
you
movie?
didn't.
No,
So how would I know that that's his counterpart?
because he talks about fighting Captain America.
Does he fight Captain America?
We don't know because he's saying it and he's being really
Oh.
braggadocious.
It could be just him telling stories.
He could have made it up
Gotcha.
just to make himself
Yeah.
sound cool. Animated Peggy Carter in What If, and then
Yeah.
live action Captain Carter.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
But those were fun.
Yeah. So let me read this last comment, and then we can kind of wrap this theory up. I think we're getting close. This one has kind of a different perspective from what we've been saying. It's from Bad Loss. They say, I think it's just comic book logic making him look like a worthy opponent. I like the idea, but there's no chance Kingpin would have obtained a serum completely off-screen and unannounced.
Right.
Which is completely valid.
But if they're going to explore new stuff in the new Daredevil series, that's something that we could see, or at least mention. But did you want to read the Amanda Does stuff?
So from Amanda Does stuff, they say he even survived gunshots, car crashings, and bombs exploding in front of him. I swear he does similar things in Daredevil. Isn't his suit lined with armor or something? And he's just an absolute unit. And then in response to that, Weed Finder General says, It was also a major plot point in season 1 of Daredevil, with the same tailor eventually making Daredevil's red suit.
Ooh.
So he's got some Kevlar stuff for
Yeah.
bullets and things.
Yep.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right. Well, I think I've got some thoughts.
Okay, cool. Well, it sounds like we're about ready to rate the theory, but before we do you guys need a break?
Doo-doo.
You need to doo-doo? I mean, that's a good excuse for a break.
No, wait. No, if Kingpin has the super soldier serum, does that mean he needs to poo more than the normal person?
Way to reference episode 5, Spencer. If you're new to the show, go back and listen to episode 5, where we discuss if being a super soldier causes Captain America to have supersized poops.
And while you're at it, tell all your friends and family about fan theory queries. They have no idea what they're missing out on.
Yeah, like poop.
Are you interested in the parts of history that remain a mystery? Do you want to learn more about the historical myths and misconceptions used to prop up false belief today? I'm Nathaniel Lloyd. In my podcast, Historical Blindness, I delve into all of these topics, sharing puzzling tales from the past and examining hoaxes, conspiracy theories, and misremembered events that provide insight into modern politics and religion. Find out what's real and what's not when it comes to famous conspiracy theories, like those surrounding notorious assassinations and secret societies. Discover the weak and deceptive underpinnings of modern political ideologies and religious beliefs. Join me as I attempt to shed some light on our historical blind spots. New episodes every 2 weeks. Find Historical Blindness on most podcast players and platforms.
I'm ready to rate this.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Ladies first?
I'm gonna give this an unlikely.
Okay.
I just really think that the character of Kingpin, part of the mystique of him, or just part of the what makes you just so in awe of him, is the fact that he doesn't need no stinking powers. He's just that awesome.
Yeah.
To be able to take that beating and just look at you and be like, I'm ready for more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you done?
Yeah.
So I just had an interesting thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to say unlikely as well. I don't think, and you're right, that makes him interesting. But you have a whole bunch of people up in arms about, or at least from what I've seen, how does he survive? Like all these things. There's no way he would live.
It's a comic
Well,
book.
first of all, doesn't he get shot in the face at the end of the series?
Yes, he did get shot.
They make it seem like he does,
Okay.
but they cut away conveniently.
At the end of Hawkeye.
And, yeah, and so my theory, personally, just a side theory on that, is that the shot was fired, but he probably deflected the gun or something, because obviously he's coming back.
Right. Okay. So I immediately thought of The Batman, my favorite movie, my favorite portrayal of Batman.
Yes.
I have no problems believing that his armor that he's wearing protects him from all the times he gets shot and
Yeah.
a bomb blowing up in his face.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and people are like, oh, he would have died from the bomb. And like, oh, but look, if you look really closely at the last minute, he covered his face with his arm. So that's why his face he got knocked out or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he takes a shotgun point blank. He gets shot so many times. And I'm okay with that. I'm like, it works for me because I want it to work for me.
Yeah.
Even if you look closely, like his pants don't have any armor on them.
You talking about Batman?
Yeah, Batman's pants, the Batman's, like, he's got his armor on his chest and arms and stuff.
He
But
probably
if you look
has
at
his quads at least.
if you
nothing
look, it
below
just
the
looks like
knee.
he's wearing pants, really, if you look closely. And so, but I have no problems making argument for that. Okay, sure. I mean, he's got all this armor on. I'm sure he's all bruised up, but he can take it. And if he can take it with that armor on at the size that he is, what's to say, like this person points out, that Wilson Fisk is not wearing some kind of armor that's sewn into his suits. In fact, one of the points in that biography I looked up on Wikipedia mentioned that he does usually wear some kind of Kevlar or body armor. And so I think that I would be totally fine believing that. I mean, it's unrealistic for sure. But if I can make exceptions for the Batman, Okay.
And Daredevil, I mean, using like sonar sound to be able to locate
Well,
echolocation to locate people.
I believe
Can
that.
we make an exception for that? We can make an exception for Wilson Fisk, right?
Sure. But so all that to say, I think this is unlikely.
Yeah, for me, this is preposterous. It's just like we've established, and some of the commenters established as well, like Wilson Fisk is just a normal guy who's large and
Well, maybe not normal, but
normal human
okay.
who's larger than most, I guess you would say, stronger, and like you said, he typically has some sort of armor built in under his outfit, so there's no way that he would even need the super soldier serum. I could see him trying to attain the super soldier
I wouldn't
serum
put
for
it past
himself,
his character.
Mhm.
but again, I don't think that he would have gotten that without them mentioning something about it up to this point. I think this is just Marvel trying to make him look a little more comic accurate.
Good deal.
Cool. Well, I guess that means it's time to bring this episode to a close. But before we do, I want to share a fascinating, inspirational success story from Hollywood. You don't see
Ooh,
these.
This is different.
Most of them are like horror stories. But this is from Reddit user The Dart One, and they shared this lovely story. In order to play the main role in Johnny English, Mr. Bean had to learn how to speak. Since then, the spy movie spawned 2 sequels, and Bean went on to get many lead roles in other franchises. You see what the man came from, being a weirdo and kicked out of places, and now he's able to star in Man vs. Bee.
Hey, do you think that Mr. Bean is at all related to that Blackadder guy?
No,
Oh. Okay.
don't be racist.
What? All right. Well, this has been Fan Theory Queries, and I'm Laura.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Spencer. In our next episode, we ask, does Dexter in Dexter's lab let his sister Dee Dee wreck his lab on purpose? Why would he do that? Chaos engineering? Subscribe to Fan Theory Queries so you don't miss out on that and other fascinating fan theories.
Fan Theory Queries is part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. Visit airwavemedia.com to listen and subscribe to their other fine shows like The Secret History of Hollywood, Who Did What Now? And Into the Impossible.
Are you interested in the parts of history that remain a mystery? Do you want to learn more about the historical myths and misconceptions used to prop up false belief today? I'm Nathaniel Lloyd. In my podcast, Historical Blindness, I delve into all of these topics, sharing puzzling tales from the past and examining hoaxes, conspiracy theories, and misremembered events that provide insight into modern politics and religion. Find out what's real and what's not when it comes to famous conspiracy theories, like those surrounding notorious assassinations and secret societies. Discover the weak and deceptive underpinnings of modern political ideologies and religious beliefs. Join me as I attempt to shed some light on our historical blind spots. New episodes every 2 weeks. Find Historical Blindness on most podcast players and platforms.